educational points to be put across, you know, in a fun, imaginative, creative way. It really does, it gets the child interacting, rather than just sort of sitting there and having to absorb things in a book. You're interacting and learning at the same time. So this one is £9.99. It's aged at 6+, like I said, and it contains over 50 embedded flaps that the children can lift to reveal extra detail. So that's that one. Next up, we're sort of on the sciencey feel of things at the moment. Excuse me. Junior Illustrated Science Dictionary. Now, this is a good one to have in the house for whenever they're doing their homework. So this is a good referencing book, as is this, to have on standby when they start doing their homework from home. Again, I imagine I've got it all to come, but homework is just a nightmare with children. So to have as many reference books that the children can go to, start getting that referencing in that they're going to take into senior school, university, you know, constantly through education, we're referencing all the time, referencing knowledge. So to have this on hand, the Junior Illustrated Science Dictionary, this retails for £9.99, and it is aimed at 7 years plus. It also includes Key Stage 2 maths. So it's, you know, it's got definitions of over 700 key terms and concepts, and it also has links to the best science websites. So if you can't find the answer in here, they will then be able to go onto the internet and put in the links that are in here to be able to get the answers that they need. It's straight talking, it's vibrant, again it holds their attention. And it sort of just gives you an idea there of friction, and there's illustrations and examples and topics that they can look at in order to make the reference items sink in, really. So that's that. Pop that over there. I'm trucking through these now. Right, next one. This is another personal pick of mine. It's absolutely fantastic, this book, for anybody that, or any children that are into creative writing. Something that I was hugely into at school, and I just wish we had resources like this available to us then. This is called the Usborne Write Your Own Storybook. This is phenomenal for anyone that's interested in writing. It's aimed at 7 years up, and it is one of my personal favourites. It retails for £8.99, but this book, again, is a reference book for when they're doing creative writing and comprehension at school. This is a great way to start structuring, unlocking imagination with a view to stories and reading and literature. This is for the young writers of, you know, the writers of tomorrow, essentially. It's a fantastic writing book that helps children to write their own stories. So I'll take you through, you know, it goes through on the contents list. Let's have a look. The contents list, if I can turn the page over. Let's have a look. So, how getting started, making up a character, whose story is it, pictures that tell stories, create your own fairy tale, comic strips. It talks about superheroes, that happily ever after, a story roller coaster, how to create exciting writing, and it just is absolutely phenomenal. It allows them to create characters, pictures in stories, and it essentially is like a journal that's packed with writing tips. It's like a story writing toolkit. So even if you know that a child needs to improve on their stories and how they're telling their stories and the imaginative base that they have to stories, this is the book that is going to help them write their stories better at school. You would hope that after looking and spending time on this, you'd be getting feedback from their teachers saying that they've improved on the way that they structure the story, their imagination of the characters and the storylines, and I don't know, this is just a brilliant learning tool, and fantastic to get those 7 years plus children get writing some fantastically amazing stories. So yeah, Again, this one's got a concealed spiral binding so that it'll lay flat on the table, and allows it to lay flat. Again, something as simple as that is it's practical. It's a practical way of using a book that we can, you know, write on. And then, so that was a personal pick. So my last personal pick of all of the books I'm going to go through with everybody today is this one. Now we're going into 2 books that are for the older end of the spectrum for children. This is for 11 years plus, and it's a really important book, this, I think. It's called Looking After Your Mental Health. It retails for £6.99, and it is aged at ages 11 upwards. Now, this book is something, again, that I don't feel we had in when I was younger. I don't, you know, it's not something that I think needed to be written then. However, in the times that we're in at the moment, with everything that's going on at the moment, with the way that social media has had an uprising in the last decade, in the way that children are becoming a lot more savvy very sooner, the way that we have online trolling, also the way that we have really, really not necessarily what some might say like normal family setups. So step families, divorce, same-sex parents, online bullying, online trolling, social media, what's acceptable, boundaries for children. It's all covered in here. And I don't think, this is a fantastic resource to have in your house, that even if you left on the side and said to an 11-year-old, read it if you feel like reading it. It has every single one of the answers to, or help to the answers of these problems that we find now in everyday life. Honestly, it's a fantastic read. If I just go through some of the topics that are covered. So what is mental health? Inside your brain, how do we feel? Who are you? When we look in the mirror, friends, family, sex and romance, on the internet, in difficult times, mental health problems, depression and anxiety, eating disorders, and finding help. And it really does go through sort of absolutely everything, and it has tips and advice for any children that are struggling with any of the topics that they see in here. We talk about our physical health a lot, but I don't think we talk about our mental health a lot as adults. So therefore it becomes a challenge when we're talking about mental health to our children. How do we do that? This gives you tools as even a parent to on how to do that. All these difficult situations that we have arising in the times that we're living in now. This is definitely a great find. It's accessible and it's got loads of practical advice. So try this, do this, maybe think about this. So it covers everything from friendships, bullying, divorce, depression, eating disorders, like I've said. And it's been held in that high regard. It was nominated for the CILIP Carnegie Medal 2019. So essentially that's an award that's given to children's books for outstanding books written in English for children and young people. So it's been recognised for how good of a tool it is. So it's definitely one for to look at and get involved in if you can. And hopefully it'll just help you ease the pressure of having to discuss some of these topics at home. And then last but not least, just a reminder really that we don't just do really small children's books. We do adult books as well. Books for adults, all sorts of books, but again for young adults as well. So this is, it only happens in the movies. So this is like a novel that is aimed at sort of 14 plus. It's $7.99 and it is one of our amazing young adult fictions in the range that we have. Essentially it's the whole bad boy turned good, kissing in the rain and climbing through bedroom windows and things like that. It's just a really great young adult novel that they can start to delve into. This is where now you're starting to lay those foundations for years to come where they're going to pick up books when they go on holiday and just start eating books up. And this is a great one to start with. It's a good, easy read with just a great story for teenagers. Yeah, that's it. It only happens in the movies. And that pretty much is all of the books that I'm going to go through today. Sorry if I've been stuttering or banging my head on things. This is the first time we've done this at Lenny's little bookshop. It won't be the last time, but if you feel free to ask any questions that you've got. I'll answer them as best I can. I'm going to post all of the pictures of the books that we've discussed today, and the prices, and a link to the catalogue or the website. If there's something you've seen, like I've said to you before, or if you know that your child is interested in one particular activity or area or interest, let me know, and let me know their age. I'll find the book for you that I think would be a great recommendation. Again, like I've said, we don't just do books, jigsaws, flashcards, things like that. And again, you can order through the website or just message me and you can order with me directly. We've got lots of stuff to come on Lenny's Little Learners. I hope you've just enjoyed this instalment. Like I've said, this video's gone from really young to really old, and hopefully there's been something in that range for you to look at and sort of have a look at, see whether you fancy them or not. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll catch up with you all, no doubt, very soon. Bye.